Yeah, sure. Let's watch it. Why 25% of workers just quit their job. Here we go.
Does anybody want to work anymore?
It seems like quiet quitting is everywhere.
Now they're saying half of people are thinking about quiet quitting.
Late night emails.
What's quiet quitting? Just not showing up? Oh, just dipping out? Oh, I thought that was a, yeah, that's what I did.
For those.
Quiet quitting is a really bad idea.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You just don't tell the next employer where you worked at. It's that simple. Yeah, you don't tell them. Now, if you have a good job, like you've got a legit job and, you know, they care about you, everything like that, and, you know, you're treated the right way, then yeah, of course you should give them a 2-week notice. I think that's fair, right? Sure. But if you work in a Taco Bell and you think to yourself, man, fuck this taco shit, and you just don't show up the next day, it's not that bad of an idea.
Hey guys, it's Graham here. So first we had the Great Resignation, where 40% of employees voluntarily left their jobs. Then we have the Great Regret, where 72% of those workers felt misled about their new roles, and now...
Well, they felt bad about leaving their job because a lot of people probably quit because they had a bunch of COVID relief benefits, and then the benefits went away. So yeah, they're like, well, this is fucking great. Uncle Sam is just gonna foot the bill, and I'm gonna jack off all day. And then Uncle Sam cuts them off, and they say, fuck! Now I gotta go back to Dollar General. Son of a bitch! This sucks.
We have a topic that's beginning to gain a lot of popularity: quiet quitting. This is a movement where employees are pushing back against the idea of going above and beyond, taking on extra work, and participating in the hustle culture of doing anything more than the bare minimum. It's already having...
I've always had the mindset, whenever somebody pays me for a job, they're not paying me to do that job, they're just paying for my time. So like whenever I worked for the government, if they wanted me to do security, I would do security. If they want me to, you know, process documents, I'll process documents. I'll do whatever you want me to do. You know, you gave me fucking, it was like $13 an hour. I will do the activity that you require.
Serious implications throughout our economy. For example, U.S. productivity just posted its biggest annual drop ever. 1 in 4 workers have already quietly quit, and the term is only getting more popular.
Well, the thing is, like, hustle culture and stuff like that. You know what the people that are doing hustle culture are? These are the guys that have, you know, these like really nice fucking penthouses, and they're talking about how, you know, you've got to rise and grind every fucking day, talking about how they wake up at 4:30 in the morning and take cold showers, and, you know, they only eat some sort of fucking like space food and shit. Like, nobody wants to deal with this shit. Nobody wants to do this. Nobody wants to be hustling whenever they're working at Walmart. They just want to be able to work at Walmart, get paid, and get on with their life. It's like a cosmetic job. Like, I don't... Let's cut the pretense. I'm here for the money. You need me to do the things. I do the things, you give me the money. It's that simple. All right.
TikToks, articles, and blogs racking up millions and millions of views. So let's talk about exactly what's going on, the reason so many people are quietly quitting their jobs, why this is a serious concern, with the search term layoffs having just recently increased in popularity, and then most importantly, what you could do about this to make you money. Although before we start, it would mean a lot to me if you quietly smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribed if you haven't done that already. Doing that helps out tremendously, and as a thank you, I will do my best to respond to as many comments as I can. So thank you guys so much, and also big thank you to Public.com for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. Alright, so to start, even though the term quiet quitting has existed for well over a decade, its recent trajectory is all thanks to a viral TikTok, which summarized that even
So I was like a trendsetter whenever I did this? I was a trendsetter, holy shit. Yeah, same bro, we started this. We started this, man. We walked so they could run.
Though you're not outright quitting your job, you're quitting the idea of going above and beyond. You're still performing your duties, but you're no longer subscribing to the hustle culture mentality that work has to be your life and that your worth is not defined by your productive output.
So they all watched... Bro, where is it?
Fuck your job. Do only what you are paid to do. You are not slave. Tell your boss to take their after hours emails and shove it up their ass.
Boom.
You have a life.
There it is.
Live it.
I've watched this video like 30 times, probably 20 of them on stream. It never gets old. So yeah, these guys saw the video, apparently. This guy, this man right here is responsible for destroying the United States economy. Thank you.
From that point on, the concept of quiet quitting and doing exactly as expected has taken on a life of its own, and also garnering a lot of criticism from employers who feel like their workers are no longer engaged and employees who feel like they're overworked for the bare minimum pay. But in terms of...
I think the reason why people are going to do that is because they're not getting paid enough or treated properly. I think that if you treat the workers properly and, you know, you give them a good amount of money, they're going to go above and beyond on their own. And is everybody going to do that? No. And that's why you sometimes need to get new people, etc. But like, just give people what they treat people like people, and they're going to treat your job like a job, right? It's that simple. Minimum wage deserves minimum effort. Yeah.
Quiet quitting, I have to say, this is what I found most surprising, and most likely it applies to all of you watching.
Okay.
Even though most people have the standard 9-to-5 schedule, research found that in an 8-hour day, the average worker is only productive for 2 hours and
Am I watching Office Space?
53 minutes. In fact, a study of 2,000 full-time office workers found that workers spend more time reading news, checking social media, discussing non-work related things with coworkers, and searching for new jobs than they did.
See, this is the kind of shit that I talk to you. Remember how I told you guys how whenever you're actually spending an hour on something, it's not really an hour? And like all the little things that eat up your time? Yeah.
Actual work. Now, for those who work from home, this is fantastic because in theory, you should be able to complete an entire day's worth of tasks in a fraction of the time while being able to work without having an angry boss looking over your shoulder. But for everyone else, it's not looking good and employee productivity is suffering. This also plays into the aspect of what's known as Parkinson's Law, which suggests that your work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Or more simply put, the longer you have to get something done, the longer you will take to complete it. That's why
that graph explains my entire school career. So if you give me a project that's due in 6 months, I'll be doing it the day before I have to turn it in. If you give me a project that's done, that needs to be done in 1 month, I'll be doing it the night before it needs to be turned in. If you give me a project that's due tomorrow, I'll be doing it that night.
In my opinion, the standard 9-to-5 Monday through Friday schedule is broken. It doesn't allow for a blanket amount of tasks to be completed. And if you have the option to leave as soon as your work was done, almost every study shows that you would work so efficiently to get it done within hours just so that you could have the rest of the day to do with whatever you want. Although
we did that even whenever we worked at the building. Like, I would try to get the work done really fast so I could just fuck around all day. Because, like, basically, we had paperwork, and there was a giant box of paperwork. And if there's no more items in the box, then we don't have to do anything. So get these out of the way as fast as possible. Let's get the cakes out. We're going to watch TV. Fuck it.
With all of that,
I remember, like, one time, it was one of the best days ever, right? So, like, I was able to, I was able to get overtime, and we only had, because they would only do overtime in like one block of 4 hours. So I got a 4-hour block of overtime, and I only had to work an extra half hour. It was such a good day. And then all the rest of it, we were just talking about like, yeah, let's go get some more goldfish from the vending machine. Yeah, let's go do that.
Said, it seems as though the problem is that employers want to get the most from their employees at the lowest cost possible, while employees want to get the most from their employers with the least amount of work as possible. And that is...
I think that that's not actually true. I think that a lot of people go to work and they try to do their job. I don't have as much of a pessimistic view on it. I think that there's people that do take pride in their job, but there is a minimum level of respect that a person has to receive in order to have that pride.
is, of course, what brings us to today. Alright, now in terms of why nearly 50% of the workforce has suddenly begun to quietly quit, it was found that first, the vast majority of people want the option to work from home. In fact, 1 in 4 pandemic homebuyers would choose to stay in their new home and find a new job if required to return to the office. On top of that, 10,000 employees surveyed said that they thought they were just as productive working from home, 30% said that they were more productive and engaged with their work, and were saving an average of 40 minutes a day from commuting. Second, employees are looking for less work. With a labor shortage and a strong economy, employees now have the option to look for other work that could pay the same, if not more, with less responsibility.
Well, that's one of the good things about the internet, is the internet has decentralized the power that employers have. Because now people are able to do more things with their money. They're able to control it in different ways. They're able to make money on their own.
So they're taking it. Third, people are doing the bare minimum and quitting because they value career growth. It was found that 80% of those thinking about leaving a job are concerned about career growth, and nearly 75% say that the pandemic made them rethink their skill sets. I've covered this before, but it was found that workers who stay within the same company for more than 2 to 3 years get paid on average 50% less than the person who hops from job to job. That's because workers who switch jobs are able to negotiate better terms with higher pay, and that's where they're moving. And fifth, companies are flat out just getting more competitive. Employers in 2022 have begun to pay more, offer better conditions, and give more flexibility, meaning those who stay within the same company are often overlooked for the new person who's just hired. However, unfortunately, it doesn't quite end here, because even though employees have had the upper hand, not everyone looks at this favorably, and there are some downsides that need to be discussed.
No, there are, like, I mean, I've seen a lot of the wages that people have. Like, I'm seeing them paying like $15 an hour just to work at a fast food place nowadays. Like, I feel like it was $12, or is $12 like 6 months ago. And like a year ago, it was $9. I feel like it's gone up a lot really fast. 15 isn't a lot. It's a lot more than what it was.
Discussed. Although before we go into that, if you're thinking about quitting or changing jobs, it's important to first make sure you have enough saved and invested to fall back on. That's where our sponsor, Public.com, wants to help, because
are people not understanding that, but adjust for inflation? I mean, am I crazy to think that like maybe 2 years ago it was $10 and now it's like 15? I think that it's gone up a lot. It's gone up a fucking lot, man. 15 is nothing. I'm not saying... Nobody is saying that $15 is nothing. I'm just saying that it's gone up substantially from where it was. Like, I'm not saying that $15 is great and people should be happy with $15. I never fucking said that. I just said that, like, looking around, I went to Five Guys and they're offering $17, $18. It was 10 a few fucking years ago. That's a crazy increase.
Investment platform that helps people be better investors. For example, they already offer thousands of stocks and ETFs and over 30 different cryptos, and soon members will be able to invest in alternative assets too. This means you'll be able to buy fractional shares of blue chip NFTs like CryptoPunks, game-worn Michael Jordan sneakers, and even an original Banksy painting. In addition to being an all-in-one platform, Public gives you the information that you need to make informed investment decisions. You can access advanced business data, unique company metrics, and expert analyst insights with Public's suite of premium features. For example, AMC has recently been mentioned a lot, and with Public Premium, I could see their quarterly theater attendance or their quarterly revenue by segments. I could also track Netflix's yearly subscriber growth or the number of Tesla vehicles delivered last quarter. This makes it easy to invest with full context on Public with data that's right at your fingertips. They've also partnered with Morningstar, one of the leading investment research firms, so that you can get access to the performance data that experts use and even see analyst sentiment on publicly traded companies in the same place that you invest. There's currently a waitlist to get access to Public Premium, but more people are given access every single week. Oh, and also for a limited time, when you sign up at public.com/Graham and transfer over existing investments, you could get all the way up to $10,000. Feel free to check out the additional terms at public.com/Graham or by clicking the link down below in the description to get started today. And now with that said, let's get back to the video. All right, now in terms of quiet quitting, from my perspective, it seems as though the general philosophy is to simply do exactly as you're paid to do, don't give any more than you have to, and prioritize prioritize your life over answering emails after 5 p.m. Now, someone who's both been self-employed and worked for somebody else, I understand the appeal of being able to clock out and then be done for the day.
Yeah.
After all, there's the saying that you should act your wage or only do what's expected for the salary that you're given. And from the way I see it, it's perfectly acceptable and you shouldn't be criticized if you're doing your job and doing it well. However, the reality is acting your wage will come at the cost that most likely you'll have a harder time getting a promotion, getting new opportunities, or even
what he's saying is true, and I know this might make some people mad because they don't think that it should be true, but it is. If you have other people that are outperforming you, other people that are doing more work than you are, they're going to get advantages and you're not. It's that simple.
keeping your job if that's something.
Yeah, they're going to get the raise. So not true. How is anybody in this chat saying how working harder at your job and doing more work and performing better at your job will not, on average, increase your chances to advance in your job? Like, have we completely gone off the fucking the deep end, guys?
Something that you value. In fact, even from my own experience, anytime you meet somebody's expectations, it's almost as though you're a ghost, and all of your work goes unrecognized since there's an equal trade of value. Just consider it like going into a cookie shop and buying an average cookie for $1. You get exactly what's expected, and they get exactly what they're worth. But imagine if that cookie shop also implemented incredible customer service, a welcoming atmosphere, a rewards program, and a little bonus for being a customer. All of a sudden, you're way more likely to talk about them and come back as a repeat customer because they exceeded your expectations. In a way,
exactly. Like, yeah, people are gonna go like it's just common sense. Really bad L take there, Baldy? Are people really this stupid? Are you guys really this fucking stupid that you're actually going to argue with me that working harder at your job is not going to increase the chances of you getting a promotion? How fucking dumb do you have to be to actually think that? Like, how absolutely fucking stupid? It's crazy. I agree with you. Yeah, it's like, not if you work for the government. That's actually not true. And if you worked at the government, you would know that is the case. The government literally has an analytical, numerical system of grading whether you can get promoted or not. It literally has a number system. And if you're not hitting threes, you can't even get promoted. It's crazy, man. It's based on time, not merit. It's based on both. And also, like, just because you think that nepotism or some other thing is going to matter more, I never made the argument that it wasn't going to matter more. All I said is that on the spectrum of working hard at your job and not working hard at your job, all other things created equal, the person who's going to work hard is going to get a higher chance of being fucking promoted. If this is something that you don't agree with, I don't know what to say. I never said it was the best way to get promoted. When did I ever say? I never said that. What do you mean? I can't believe I was getting pushback on this. This is unreal.
From my perspective, the exact same thing also applies to you and your work. If you're the type who wants recognition, who wants to grow within their career, and wants to make more money, it's often better to do a little bit more than expected, and by doing so, you'll make a lasting impact and stand out over the competition.
That's
in
true.
addition to that, it also serves as a safety net in the event we see a severe recession with mass...
Or you make a mistake. Like, I probably would have been fired a number of times, but because I worked hard and I tried to go above and beyond, they didn't fire me.
Layoffs, because like it or not, throughout recessions, we tend to see a complete contraction across the entire economy, including job losses. I would take this extremely seriously, because even though it's easy to quietly quit while unemployment is at an all-time low, since 1955, the unemployment rate has never held below 3.5% for more than a year. So even though quiet quitting could give you a better work-life balance temporarily, it also comes at the cost of probably being the first to get cut in the event of a downsize, especially when 74% of your colleagues are still doing more than what's expected. At the same time, though, not everything is the responsibility of the employee, and employers also have to be held accountable to make sure their employees are treated fairly, compensated appropriately, and make sure their work is appreciated. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone gets a participation trophy because they showed up on time, but it does mean that they're given a fair environment to find their own motivation with encouragement to work more efficiently, not less. Sure, some companies are probably flat-out soul-sucking enterprises with the only goal of extracting as much value as humanly possible within reach reach without any possibility of worthwhile advancement, while Bob from accounting spends every unpaid weekend at the cubicle. But I would like to think that most places recognize hard work, and by taking the initiative to do more than expected, you're more likely to be rewarded. Admittedly, this is how I built my entire business from the ground up. As a real estate agent, I took on any extra work I could for free, simply because I wanted to make a good impression, and over time it paid off. Same with YouTube. I just wanted to give people completely free, helpful content, even though it distracted from my work as a real estate agent. But I loved it, and then it's grown to where it is today. In a way, going above and beyond set me apart from everybody else. It gave me so many new opportunities that never would have existed had I not taken that initiative. And it was a sacrifice that I was willing to make to get ahead. But even with all of that said, the issue that I see is that at the end of the day, too many employees are not engaged with their work, they're not happy with what they're doing, and they're not incentivized in a way to push through. But if that's the case, and you don't already have millions of dollars sitting in the bank to fall back on, then you have to make the most of your time working for someone else and find a balance between personal fulfillment and
I think that's always what you should do, right? Is you should always, if you have something that you don't like doing as a job, try to do that as little as possible as you transition into something that you would rather do.
Doing something that gets you to the next phase of your life where you'll be happier. From my perspective, it's totally okay to set boundaries in terms of your work-life balance, but it also shouldn't be a surprise if someone else gets a promotion or a better opportunity, and that needs to be factored in, at least to some degree. Now, of course, on the flip side, employers should not be expecting their employees to keep one-upping each other for a raise that doesn't even match the pace of inflation. Plus, I'm sure it's also demotivating to see the person who slacks off getting paid the exact same as the other person who goes above and beyond. So companies—
That's exactly why whenever you're in a raid, you got to get rid of the people that fuck up mechanics, and you can't give them loot. Because if you do, then everybody's going to be fucking up mechanics. That's what happens. Whenever you cater to people that underperform, you get underperformers.
Need to create an environment where there can be incentives along the way for people who want to take them. As far as what you could do about this, honestly, if you're the type who enjoys what they're doing, self-motivated, and has a clear path for what you want, then use this as an opportunity to stand out and make yourself indispensable for the company. It could also be a great time to look for other work that's more personally fulfilling or create a better environment in terms of what you want out of life. There's going to be some give and take, but if you're at the point where you're already quietly quitting, I'd say it's probably best to reflect on where you find the most happiness, balance that with the limitation that you're probably not going to get the career advancement and promotions versus the other person who gives it 110%, and then move to a place where you feel more appreciated. Everyone is going to be different, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach, but at least I hope this sheds some light on the situation, and if you enjoyed this, make sure to quietly subscribe if you haven't done that already. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, feel free to add me on Instagram, and don't forget that you can get all the way up to $100 worth of free crypto, along with free crypto on every trade you make over $10 when you sign up for FTX US down below in the description with the code GRAHAM. Enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.
That was a pretty good video. I do think that's fair. I know there's going to be some people that get defensive about this and get upset about it because, you know, he says, like, you've got to work hard at your job, etc., right? I know people get, like, they get so mad about that sometimes, but it is true. It is very, very fucking true. Of course, crypto, bro. Who gives a fuck about that? Everything else was true. I don't care about what he said at the end of the video. It's whatever. Video, I don't know. People get triggered about stupid-ass shit. What do you mean? Like, I think that it's not a surprise that people are going to quit their job because their job's not fulfilling. You work in an Amazon fulfillment center, and the only thing you can't get is fulfillment. Of course it's going to make sense. How's it even a question? Working hard towards a career as fulfilling as the best thing you can do in life. Exactly, man.